needs of a text and summarize the key and supporting details. They are supposed to be able to interpret words and phrases that are used in a text, understand point of view, understand content, and analyze how two or more texts address the same topic or theme. For writing, the anchor standards we are supposed to write argument or opinion pieces using support ideas and reasoning, write informative and explanatory pieces and clearly organize ideas, write narratives to develop real or imagined experiences or events. All students will be able to produce clear and coherent writing and successfully understand and use the writing process. For speaking and listening, our anchor standards are to participate effectively in a range of conversations and clearly express your own ideas, to integrate and evaluate information presented in various formats, to evaluate a speaker's point of view and reasoning, to present information and findings clearly, to make use of digital media and visual displays, and to demonstrate the command of the formal English language. Which leads us into the anchor standards for language. Students should be able to demonstrate a command of the conventions of standard English grammar when writing or speaking, demonstrate command of standard English capitalization, punctuation, and spelling when writing, and they should be able to determine or clarify the meaning of unknown words or phrases using various strategies, and acquire and use a range of general academic vocabulary. Now, we're going to take a quick close look at the math anchor standards and the performance expectations. So the anchor standards and performance expectations for math are for all students to be able to make sense of problems and persevere in solving them, to reason both abstractly and quantitatively, to construct viable arguments, to model with math, attend to precision, and use appropriate tools when solving math problems. And then we have some domains by grade level, which is kind of the big picture ideas and the big picture units that we're kind of working towards for each grade. So for kindergarten, those units are counting and cardinality, operations and algebraic thinking, number and operations in base 10, measurement and data, and geometry. For first and second grade, we have operations and algebraic thinking, numbers and operations in base 10, measurement and data, and geometry. Moving on to third through fifth grade, again we have operations and algebraic thinking, number and operations in base 10, number and operations with fractions, this also includes decimals, measurement and data, as well as geometry. In 6th and 7th grade we have ratios and proportional relationships, the number system, expressions and equations, geometry, statistics, and probability. And then in 8th grade, we have the number system, expressions and equations, functions, geometry, and statistics and probability. So, meeting the new requirements. I'm going to briefly review how the state of Illinois and how our school district plan on meeting these new Common Core requirements. In 2010, Illinois adopted the Common Core standards after a 45-day period of public review. Full implementation is required of all Illinois school districts by this school year, the 2013-2014 school year. Districts must develop and implement a curricula that meets these standards. So, how will Common Core affect teachers? Common Core establishes guidelines and clear expectations for what students should know and be able to do, but not how students should learn. So this means that teachers and schools will be able to maintain their creativity and teach how their students learn best, while teaching the curriculum and ensuring that students meet those standards. So we have continued flexibility as our school district to be creative and to meet the unique needs of each of our students. How will it affect teachers? Well, it ensures that each student will receive a quality education because it establishes those clear expectations. It emphasizes those skills that the students need to know and be able to do to be able to succeed in colleges and careers. And they are benchmarked to international standards to help us compete in the global economy. Now, what does it mean for students with disabilities and English language learners? These standards were written with all students in mind. The standards document does include information on application of the standards for students with disabilities and English language learners. They are flexible enough to allow for differentiated approaches for all students, and we can offer unique supports and accommodations to students with unique needs, and is going to provide an opportunity for enrichment or acceleration for those students who are talented as well. Common Core will be assessed. The NWEA MAP test that all our students take 3 times a year has been realigned to meet the Common Core standards, so we can actually see and instructionally plan using the data we gather from the MAP tests. This year's ISAT test will be 100% Common Core aligned, and then starting next year, Illinois has adopted the PART assessment, which is the Partnership for the Assessment of Readiness for College and Careers. So the PART assessment is computer-based, and it's linked to Common Core. It will be used in over 19 states, and it will provide, because it is computer-based, it will help us provide meaningful and timely information to help us inform instruction, plan interventions, and plan professional development for our teachers. Common Core in our district. I'm going to speak specifically about what we're doing in our district. So after the state adopted Common Core, in 2011 and 2012, teachers started to break down and understand, prioritize, and group the standards, and they started instructional planning. They also started a realignment of the report cards at the primary level. Last year, 2012-2013, we continued to work in buildings to work on building background and knowledge for teachers and administrators. We continued our instructional planning, continued that realignment of the report cards, and we really taught a hybrid of the Illinois Learning Standards and the Common Core standards. And then this year, again, we have to fully implement Common Core. We are always going to be continuously revising, updating, discussing what we're doing district-wide, continuing to realign and update those report cards, review and organize and align all of our resources, and we are always going to continue to support and provide professional development with not only the teachers in our school district, but with surrounding school districts. So how can you help your child at home? Talk about books. Reading is a really big component of the Common Core, so take time to read as a family, talk about what you read. Ask your children questions about what they're reading in school. One big shift is that students are being asked to talk about and write about what they're reading about. So ask questions to your kids specifically about what they're reading. Get them talking about the text that they're reading at home or in school. Encourage reading nonfiction. Common Core elevates the importance of being able to read, understand, and analyze nonfiction, because that's most of the reading that we do in our everyday lives as adults. So encourage them to read nonfiction books, articles, magazines, newspapers. Have them read about a favorite sports star or a favorite musical artist. Those are all nonfiction pieces that children can read that will get them interested in reading nonfiction. And then write. Do a lot of writing at home. Write a journal, write a letter to a favorite author. Do any kind of writing that you can. And then talk math. Common Core really emphasizes reasoning skills and mastering those everyday real-world mathematical applications. So talk to your kids about the math you use every day. Time, distance, the value of products that you purchase, calculating tips. Anything that you use every day as far as math goes, talk to your kids about. Get them involved in that problem-solving process. All right, so let's review. Things to remember. The adoption of Common Core standards is not a federal mandate or a curriculum. States chose to adopt the standards. Districts must revise their curriculum to meet the standards. States choose what standardized tests they will use to measure the implementation of those standards as well. Common Core does not take away our control as a district. We get to decide as District 46 how we will meet these standards. Teachers will maintain their creativity and control of their own classroom. One important thing, you will see changes. You will feel shifts. You will see your child doing more than finding answers and completing tasks. You'll see them doing reasoning, logical explanation, solving more complex problems, using those critical thinking skills. You'll see them reading both fiction and nonfiction. We are committed to making sure all of our students are successful. So we are going to work to continue to meet the needs of all of our students. If you want more information, you can go to each of our schools' web pages, have a little link on the side that says Parents Guide to Student Success. These were put out by the National PTA, and they are specific for grade level. And they talk a little bit more in depth about the shifts that you will see at your child's grade level. You can also go to corestandards.org, pta.org, or you can check out the Illinois State Board of Education website because they have a lot of good information there. Again, if you have any questions, please write them on the little fact sheet that's on the table and give them to me as you leave. Thank you so much for coming, and I will get back to you with the answers to your questions as quickly as I can.
One more coming.